All right, going to Luke Rudkowski. I wanted to get Luke to pop in, founder of We Are Change, great journalist and activist in his own right, to break down what the feeling was of the crowds there, the checkpoints all over the city, and how it was used for a police state. 10 years later, Luke, what's your view on 9/11 and what you witnessed at this important memorial?
I mean, this event, this anniversary was unlike any other. I mean, the police barricaded miles of New York City. It took at least an hour to get from one block to another. It was the most craziest thing since the Obama inauguration, with National Guard on the street with M16 rifles, shotguns, full force. They were searching people. They were searching people's bags, detaining people for wearing a 9/11 was an inside job T-shirt, and telling them they couldn't get near the memorial because they had a 9/11 was an inside job T-shirt. It was one of the most intense things, total lockdown of the city. Police were everywhere, and you couldn't get around. You couldn't move around anywhere, and it was really just insane seeing the full force out there.
Luke, let me stop you. This is big breaking news, and I'm going to cover it tonight then on television, and we're going to get an article out because you are a reporter and respected. How fast can you get footage, or is there footage of the police saying if you have a 9/11 Truth shirt, you aren't even allowed anywhere near on public streets? That is huge discrimination.
Yes, I believe there's a video there's a video in the process of being uploaded right now by another 9/11 activist that was there, that was actually detained by them. It should be uploaded very soon. If I have the link, I'll send it.
Yeah, more and more, that was the talking point we cover in Truth Rising, is Fox, CNN, MSNBC. They say 9/11 Truth works with Al-Qaeda. It's not just that we're exposing the government did it. We're really terrorists. And, of course, we have the police saying your camera's a gun and a bomb and that they're going to frame you. That's in Truth Rising. So this is a standard M.O. now. Tell me more, Luke.
And they even arrested a man for speaking out against 9/11 Truth. He was, of course, raising his voice. He immediately had cops come on him and detain him and arrest him for just simply speaking out.
Wow, so now it's like North Korea. Now not only are there checkpoints and people being searched and military with guns, but now they arrest you. Wow, wow. Land of the free, huh?
It was pretty intense. People were all over the place. I actually got a lot of great interviews with family members who supported new investigations, who didn't want to be used by the administration to prop up their propaganda. So I've been just working on a lot of videos this weekend. You're going to be seeing them on youtube.com/WeAreChange. I'm going to release a new video every morning. And it was just one of the surrealist. You couldn't get anywhere near the memorial. Usually any other events, you had a press identification card. They would let you right into the memorial and be there with everything. But it was just the most complete, controlled lockdown that I ever seen in New York City. And it was surreal seeing just people just like scattered all over the place. And it definitely wasn't well put together at all.
Well, they're definitely upset. I've talked to a lot of insiders that 9/11 Truth continues to surround the Ground Zero area, but you're saying this time they had checkpoints blocks and blocks away, and that you couldn't even get into the general area where the hotels are, anything, if you had a 9/11 Truth shirt. Wow, that is Soviet.
Yeah, they had a couple streets that anybody was able to walk by. But if you wanted to get near the memorial, near the viewing station, you had to get through a police checkpoint where they were stopping people with investigate 9/11 T-shirts and investigate 9/11 T-shirts, and they pretty much just pinned in people near the memorial with barricades, with tapes everywhere, and they just locked it all down. And
Luke, stay there. Incredible. And this is only one more step away from take them away, arresting them. Well, I guess they already did arrest a guy, so. Be part of the real alternative media, not the counterfeits that are out there claiming that they are the truth or that they are the cutting edge of alternative information. Hey, it's a free-for-all. I hope Glenn Beck doesn't continue his globalist ways, but he clearly is copying much of what we do. And they say that's one of the most sincere forms of flattery, so fine. He launches his show today. Well, ours has been launched for years, but we've launched the nightly news in the last few weeks at prisonplanet.tv, and we're going to add a lot more in the future. So please become a member and support the true alternative media at prisonplanet.tv, and please spread the word about InfoWars Nightly News. And those of you that are members, underwrite the development of a much more prolific and powerful system. Luke, I know talking to some of the first responders, firefighters, police, and others who were barred from the event because they're angry about the dust and the rest of it. In all fairness, I did see CBS News actually doing a report about it this weekend, admitting that there was a cover-up. That they were saying that they were going to try to go through the lines and protest up at the gates. Did you get any intel on what happened with that?
Any form of protesting or any form of activism was virtually impossible down in New York City on the 10th anniversary of 9/11. It was impossible to walk anywhere. There was crowds everywhere, corralled in cages. You couldn't go from one place to another without waiting 20 minutes. All the streets were blocked off. Everything was the tightest security again that I ever saw in my life. So I saw first responders walking around in the crowd. That's all I was able to see. But I was not able to see any first responders do any of that. And it was just a very chaotic, it was just all over the place. But I met many loving and caring people that came all over Europe, even as far as Australia, just to be there, just to stand in solidarity with first responders, with the family members who were demanding a new investigation into 9/11.
Well, the good news is, Luke, I know you travel the world and talk to a lot of people, but from my perspective as a media person, you know, the general public isn't known, so they don't know how many people are awake. But when you are a prominent media person and you walk down the street and every other person, you know, comes up and says 9/11's an inside job, you know we're winning this fight. And so there's this hoax the media's running that 9/11 truth is dead. I think instead of dead, it's just seen as common sense now and has become the pervasive fact. And so, but it has lost some of its push to ever bring the perpetrators to justice because there's now 10 years on. So do you see the paradox I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's definitely setting an illusion, making us feel isolated, that we're alone, that nobody feels the way we do. But just being on the streets in New York City, even just walking by or doing interviews with random people, I find that the majority of people, especially when it comes to 9/11, know that there's something wrong. All they have to do is look at just a clip of Building 7 collapsing. And sadly, the mainstream media has not been doing their job. They have been calling us fringe. They have been calling us crazy. But there's nothing crazy about asking questions and demanding answers and not doing what they do. They haven't held any of our politicians accountable, and that's why we're here. That's why we're asking people like Thomas Keane real legitimate questions, and you see him running, ducking, and diving away from a simple question. And that's all we're trying to show here is like the information is being denied to us, and they're not showing us what's really happening. And I hope people slowly start waking up, and they are, and understanding that what we see on TV is not the reality, it's not the truth. It's only what corporate masters, corporate puppets want us to know, want us to believe, want us to think. But as soon as we let that go, we start freeing ourselves, and that's when a real evolution will take place, where we will be able to actually take back this country and actually inspire people to actually do something. And I'm not giving up. I talked to Richard Gates last night, and we had a long conversation, and we told each other, I'm not giving up anytime.
Well, Luke, you're doing a superlative job. The main radio show is now over. That will be prisonplanet.tv and InfoWars audio stream for a little while longer because I promised to get to Freddie, CJ, and Steve at least. But, Luke, I want to say bye to you during the break here as we end the official radio show. I'll be back tonight, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, prisonplanet.tv. Be there. Visit InfoWars.com and prisonplanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.